So guys, my father, I was in awe of him when I was a kid. He wasn't just a man, he was like a god to me. He was 6'4", he was 270 pounds, and his voice was twice as deep as mine. And when he spoke, it was with so much resolve that when he talked, other men shut up. And he was really smart too. I remember in high school, he would help me with my chemistry or calculus without even batting an eye or ever having to review my notes. And every now and then when I was a kid, he'd come out and play with us. And it was like an All-American had hit the field when he did. I remember one time he kicked the ball so high, I don't ever remember the ball coming down, but I do remember the kids and I standing there with our mouths open, looking up at the sky, like we had witnessed something holy. And honestly, I worshiped the guy. But as I got older, I really wanted him to be that guy that came out and decided and played with us more because, you see, every night, without fail, he was checking my homework. And it wasn't just checking to see if I was completing it. He discussed every math problem. He went over every historical event, and we had to discuss scientific discoveries that happened with it. And he pointed out every damn dangling participle and made note of every missing antecedent in all of my work. And I knew that it was for my own good, but I hated it. I wanted that guy who came outside and played to be around more. And when I became a father, I got 4 kids. My 2 oldest, my son, he had just learned how to ride a bike. And my oldest daughter, she had been riding for about a year. And we were about to move into this townhouse complex that just seemed perfect. I mean, there was a playground right in front of the house with a field and trees surrounding it. And when we would ride past before we moved in, there was dozens of kids out there running around playing stickball and tag and, childhood stuff. And when we moved in, it was just like I expected. I was the king of the neighborhood and my kids were playing like they were insane every day. And I would sit right by the door with my shoes tied, waiting to hear these words. Dad, come outside. We need another player. Dad, hurry up. Now, I was about 30, but let's be honest. I was a kid inside, and I lived for this stuff. Riding bikes, ditches, exploring chaos, veins out the neck, screaming about who was tagged out or who was saved. I mean, it was really perfect until it wasn't. And I'll never forget this day. Because I was helping my kids get their bikes out in the front yard, and they told me, hey, Dad, we're going down to the tennis courts on the edge of the golf course because we're going to go find lost balls. Tennis balls, golf balls that get knocked in the water. Real kid stuff. And I remember saying, great, I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab my bike. So I go down to the basement. I pull my bike out. I go out the back gate. I walk all the way around the townhouse road to bring my bike to the front. And no kids. And I thought, oh wow, maybe they went to go pick up some other friends. I'll wait here. And no kids. So then I get on my bike and I ride around the neighborhood and I don't hear any sound. And then for a moment my chest starts to tighten because I'm thinking something happened to my kids. And then I see them riding with their friends, laughing, pedaling fast towards the tennis courts and not looking for me. At first I think, what the fuck's happening here? Did they leave me? And then I remember, I'm not a friend. I'm just a dad. And they weren't telling me, they weren't inviting me. They were just telling me what they were about to do. So I walk my bike back around and I come up from the basement. And my wife at the time looks at me and she sees I'm upset. She says, what's wrong? And I tell her, since they left. They didn't want me to go. And I laughed. But inside, I was thinking, what the hell? My kids just ghosted me. Like a pretty date with chronic bad breath. And I thought, I really remember thinking, this was my opportunity to be better than my dad. You see, I wanted to be just like him. I wanted, of course, though, to go outside more. I thought I could be better than him by doing that. And that opportunity had come to a close in my mind because this is when it all starts, guys. Dad, drop us off at the corner. Hey, Dad, you don't have to come inside. Dad, stay over here. Dad, put a paper bag over top of your head. And then I have that flashback. Junior high. I'm waiting for my parents to come to school. You see, I was doing pretty good in school. And so this was a time when I was getting moved up in the classes. So it was a good reason for my parents to have to come to talk to my counselor. My mother shows up in her general classy business attire, and she waits in the counselor's office. And I'm standing in the hallway waiting for my dad. God damn it, he turns the corner. And he's wearing the loudest lime green pants I've ever seen in my life. Actually, I had only seen lime green pants on cartoon leprechauns. But could you imagine a big black leprechaun coming down the hallway, smiling, waving at me? And he's proud of his son and apparently his choice in pants. But me, I'm looking at him like, oh, what the hell has he done? But I'm happy he's there. But I'm mortified that somebody's going to see me with him. One guy does. We're still friends. And yes, we still talk about those lime green pants. But I understand. This was the moment when I had started thinking, my dad isn't cool. And I started to ghost him. And then I thought to myself, geez, I had avoided wearing the lime green pants and now my kids have started to ghost me. But then I look over into the living room and I got two toddler daughters sitting over there and they're eagerly awaiting my attention. Now at this time, they're not trying to play kickball and they don't give a damn about racing me to the corner. But for the first time in my life, I got to wear flowers and bows in my head so that I could eat pretty for our pretend parties. And they drilled me about how to strut the catwalk like I owned that bitch. Now, I had to wear lipstick and eyeliner and nail polish. It did nothing for my appearance or my ego. But I was back in the dad game and I was excited about it. Until those two started telling me, drop me off at the corner, Dad, please, you don't have to come in. But by that time, I had learned the same thing that my father probably realized about me. You see, my kids were probably going to ghost me, and they were going to act like they didn't know me in public. But they knew that I was going to be there. They knew who tied shoes, who rode bikes, who checked homework, who walked down an imaginary runway with glitter on like a confused backup dancer. But see, here's the thing. Fatherhood is about showing up even though you know that they're going to ghost you. And my father didn't raise me to think that he was cool because he wore those goddamn lime green pants many more times out in public with me. But he did raise me to realize that when life becomes a challenge, son, don't worry about what the fuck I'm wearing. I'm here. I'm with you. You just keep going. And as time would have it, I realized that what my father was giving me was something in despite of my ghosting. And whether my kids will admit it or not, I gave the same thing to them, and I didn't have to wear the lime green pants. I appreciate you, Story Extreme, and Stephanie, as always, thank you for helping me get through these stories without crying.